This is a previously recorded episode of the ITintheD Show.
This is episode 148 of the ITintheD Show, and I'd be remiss if we did not lead off the show with, hey, on behalf of all of us at the ITintheD Show, thoughts, prayers, and good jazz goes to everybody and the friends and family of everyone involved in the Orlando shooting. Don't mean to start off on a bad note, but just wanted to throw that out there. We got a show to do, so we got a great guest lineup, and as John Oliver once said, on to our stupid show. Dave, fire when ready.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
This is Max Headroom, and what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
This is Billy D. Williams. Bob and Dave and I are enjoying a Colt 45 right now, and remember, ITintheD, it works every time.
You're listening to the ITintheD Show.
Hi, it's Count Chocula, and you're listening to ITintheD. Whatever the hell that is.
Just where do you guys think you are? The Library of Congress? Detroit? Beyond the Sun?
Any of those right?
Take him to Detroit. No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything with that! No!
I used to hang out at the Magumbo Bar. It was a rough place, the seediest dive on the wharf, populated with every reject and cutthroat from Bombay to Calcutta. It's worse than Detroit.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come! Shut up!
I dig you IT geeks. This is Dre DeMatteo from Sons of Anarchy. You are listening to ITintheD.
So what happens when you tap the angry beaver in the bunghole?
Exactly.
Come on. Tries. What the hell with this? I'm calling a break. We'll come back to the ITintheD Show.
Hi, this is Ralph Macchio, and you're listening to ITintheD Show. Wax on, you know what.
Bob loves it in the can.
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zabka. Sweep the leg. Listening to ITintheD Show. No mercy.
I may have to wipe the geek off.
Hi, this is Martin Cove, John Kreese from the Karate Kid movie. And you're listening to ITintheD.
Yes, that's
Are we at a break yet?
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to ITintheD. All you nerds out there.
Nerds?
Nerds.
Nerds! What is a nerd?
I'm a nerd, and I'm pretty proud of it.
This is Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump. The ITintheD Show is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
You're in your underwear, I'm in my underwear. Hey, let's hang out.
No, I'm sorry, honey. I have a headache.
I definitely want to see Bob in his underwear. That's a fact.
That's why I like it in the can.
Which kind of scares the shit out of me.
Shut up, Barry.
Hello, everybody. This is Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Man. I'm a techie. I'm a nerd, fellow podcaster. My favorite podcast is ITintheD.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
It's just too big. It's way too big. We got screwed at the same time.
Yeah. Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
We just lost our clean tag on iTunes.
This is Robert Hayes, the tit striker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at the Magumbo Bar, I'm listening to the ITintheD Show. It's worse than Detroit.
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat steak.
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the ITintheD Show. Tough guy. Ho!
My name is Michael Zapsik from AMC's Comic Book Man. You're listening to ITintheD. Com.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Sir, had you better buckle up? Buckle this! Ludicrous speed! Go!
Live from Podcast Detroit, you are listening to the number one ranked technology podcast on SoundCloud this week. This is the one and only ITintheD Show. We are broadcasting live in our very own studios. They are still new because they're 2 weeks old now.
And plural is actually accurate now.
Studios. We'll get to that in a minute. We're in Royal Oak, Michigan. This is Bob the sales guy hanging out with Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG. Find us out online, ITintheD.com. Shout out to Randy and Ian and Twitters. You can give us a follow /ITintheD and give us a like on the Facebook. And for the love of God, leave us a review. We just, I think Caston from Interworks left review number 64. And it's not. Yeah. After this whole Operation iTunes, I think we got 4 reviews. So like, I don't know what to do anymore. We have to offer $10 gift certificates or something, or Comcast coupons.
There's still no Q in that word.
We'll figure something out. But speaking of Comcast, we have a great guest lineup tonight. We have Michelle Gilbert, one of our old friends, and Eunice in the house, talking about the new store downtown Detroit and a whole bunch of other stuff that Comcast is doing. We also got Dave Dulac in the house, one of our favorite recruiters from Qualigence, talking about the IT job market, what's going on in Detroit. And
well, God, I've known Dave for 20 years now.
And I think he needs Java and .NET.
It's getting approaching that level, yeah.
And I think he's going to say he needs .NET and Java developers, but I'm just going on.
Maybe mobile app dev. Maybe.
Mobile app dev. I'm just going on.
Back end, whatever. Right?
I'm just going on. Hey, do us a favor. Mark your calendars. This Thursday, June 16th, we're going to be over at the Hamlin Corner, right around the corner from where we are.
I believe I totally forgot that was this week.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock to question mark, because all good parties go until question mark. No cover, no speakers, no agenda. Just IT people drinking, not drinking, having good conversations.
Talking, not talking, hiding in a corner.
Yeah,
so can I come back afterward and like steal some of the foam off the walls and like make a pillow out of it and just sleep on the floor?
Yes.
We still have extras.
Dude, sweet extra foam.
Couches there.
Yeah, we can build a foam couch with what we still have.
And knowing Dave, he's going to get drunk and he's going to let's podcast. It's going to be awesome.
Let's go to the studio.
Hit record button because it's fun.
148 and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, this episode or this segment of the ITintheD show is brought to you by our friends at Audible. Like you, I'm always on the road. Tomorrow I have to be on the road at 6 in the morning. Wednesday I have to be to Cincinnati at 6 in the morning. And morning radio kind of stinks. And when you're done listening to podcasts, Audible's got a great solution for you. Audiobooks. They have over 250,000 titles from every leading publisher, broadcaster, entertainer, magazine, newspapers. It does not matter. They have a really cool app that's easy to search on. You can download, listen on your Kindle Fire or on your iPhone, iPad, Android, Windows phone. For Mike Dennis, who is the only person that has the Windows phone. And and basically, you can listen to books at any time. The cool thing is, if you download a book and you go through the first chapter and it sucks, they let you take it back and get a new one, so you're not stuck if you're trying out a whole bunch of different things. I'm listening. I just listened to Dad is Fat from Jim Gaffigan. Right, most of the books I read are either Star Wars or comedy, and it's actually narrated by Jim Gaffigan, which is kind of funny. So you're listening to this book and he's reading the book, so it's kind of it brings it to a kind of another level.
Yeah, my wife falls asleep every night listening to audiobooks on Audible, so she absolutely loves her service herself.
Yeah. So hey, and just for our listeners, Audible.com is offering a free 30-day trial membership. Do us a favor, go to audible.com/ITintheD and start your free 30-day trial. Again, show your support for our podcast, ITintheD. Get a free 30-day trial, audible.com/ITintheD. Thank you.
I love Audible.
It's good stuff.
Look.
I know. I got probably 18 books now. It's crazy.
You know, it's coming where we can share our books.
As you should.
With each other.
Right.
Yeah.
As you should. But hey, if you're not living under a rock and you're in the tech world, the story of the day has to be Microsoft buying the LinkedIns for 20.
I'm not talking about that.
For 26.
I'm not talking about that.
What are you talking about?
You said we could talk about the studios.
You
made me wait.
Okay, fine. Let's inflate. Go. Go.
No, we actually have multiple studios up and running now here in the building. We had 2 shows that ran simultaneously. Fine, you do.
We have multiple studios now.
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead and get 2 and 3 up and running. That'll be you.
We have multiple studios running.
It's kind of great, actually. I walk in and there's got the big green and gray foam, which matches the podcast Detroit colors.
The colors. It's all. I love it when a plan comes together.
All the rooms are soundproof, so no one can hear you scream. Dave's got microphones. I'm like stealing all Dave's thunders. He's got microphones and setups. There was a place where he was running 2 shows concurrently. Is that right?
That was yesterday between 5 and 7. We had Ninja Starship and the new show Cocktails and Conversations.
Dude, it's so great.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So there will be a time where we might have 4 running at once.
Whoa.
So yeah,
we already have like scheduled where we'll have 3.
We have nice fast broadband here, right, through Comcast?
Yes, we're good.
Very nice. Good.
Is it really through Comcast?
No, it actually really is.
Yeah. Where's the bell? Ding.
It's right here.
I don't know.
But how soon before we outgrow this place? You know, we've only been here 2 weeks and we're already talking about outgrowing it.
Like start renting Regis offices or something.
Well, yeah, we just announced we signed Ashley Gold from Hardcore Pawn. She's doing
super cool
Pawn Chick Radio. Going to be recording here on Saturdays.
Yeah, her first episode's out there.
It's cool. So yeah, we're getting a good mix of the old business shows, personal shows. It's fun. It's good. It's craziness. Put it that way. And Domino's is getting to know us by a first name basis.
I am. I'm just waiting till the point where we have them trained that they just for delivery they walk across the street.
Can we have like a Domino's coupon code? Domino's, if you're listening, the IT and the D show and the podcast Detroit loves you. We would love a coupon code.
That's right.
Hoverboard
guys right across the street.
Hoverboard across 11 Mile with 2 pizzas.
They're the ovens.
We do. We just like a pneumatic tube between there and here.
I think Dave, was that the first time you used the app today where you're all excited? I think Janice put your pizza in the oven. And and it sends you push notifications like, oh my God, Janice put
and
my
then
pizza
Jason is on his way with your pizza.
Okay, Jason, how's it going? How'd you know my name?
Exactly.
But hey, going back to we were talking about earlier, if you have not been living under a rock today, the biggest news, has to be
Clippy the Paperclip is now in your LinkedIn inbox.
It needs to add you to your professional network. But if you think about it, if you do the math, $26 billion, they paid a 50% premium over what the stock price was. They paid, if you go by user, they paid $60 per user.
Holy shit.
To obtain the LinkedIns, which in essence...
Wonder why...
I don't know. You go. I don't, because they want to own the things.
Well, yeah. So it's
going to go into their CRM,
and it's one more database and one more piece of data that gets put into the big collection pool that they have and Google doesn't.
Well, this is like the first of its kind, right? LinkedIn is the largest adult social/professional social network, right? So you've got data that Facebook doesn't have. Facebook's a bunch of like cat memes and Donald Trump stories.
Right.
But now you have a bunch of actual people in business jobs, what they do. Think if a company is about to get acquired, you may have those things pop up on LinkedIn. You can see trends of where employees go from one company to the next. I get why they bought that. How are they going to consume it now?
Hey, we noticed you just changed companies. Here's your new office templates.
Right. Shit. So like if you look at
mind blown.
If you look at Cisco, for example, they're investing a ton of money to make us all social selling ambassadors.
Yeah, you told me about the social platform that Cisco gives you through LinkedIn, right?
Right.
That you're like number 4 on?
I'm number 3. Ranked number 3 in the country.
Wait, they're trying to make you what?
A social selling ambassador.
Can you just say backward, ambassador of social selling? Because
yes.
then you're an ass.
Is Cisco going MLM?
No,
because that sounds like MLM.
Not network marketing.
Social selling ambassador certainly sounds like
buy 5 routers.
Exactly. Are you pushing knives now with routers?
Zero Cisco life.
No, with Sales Navigator, they have like an SSI index. And they give you like a number, so you have to improve. And it's and we like every Friday we have to do a webinar. It's nuts the amount of money that they're investing in this platform.
Crazy.
It's the 5th largest tech deal ever, even bigger than the purchase of EMC by Dell, which just blows my mind.
But because at least EMC so here was my thing. Like EMC makes something.
Yeah, a really big product used by like data centers everywhere.
Microsoft makes something.
Windows, Xbox, right.
If you're
LinkedIn,
not paying for the service,
you are
the service. That's what LinkedIn makes. A big database.
That's for $26 billion.
Yeah.
It's like a company is like a house or any other collectible. It's worth what someone is willing to pay for it.
Uber doesn't own one taxi cab, yet they're worth
there you go
double that. Airbnb owns nothing. Right, they own an app.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing with LinkedIn. They still haven't nailed the mobile experience. It's awful.
It's terrible.
It's still the touch. Yeah, it's still touch.
Right, it's
still horrible.
It's the .com. It's no different. You're not giving me anything different. They just put out a job board, which is no different than just hitting the damn tab on touch. But so it'll be fun what Microsoft's going to do because they're giving OS away for free. Right.
Also, I remember back in the day, LinkedIn was actually one of the largest Cold Fusion based applications.
.cfml?
It was.
Whoa.
It was.
Remember when ASP was cool. And then Cold Fusion came along and like, I could make $60,000 a year as a Cold Fusion developer.
I totally remember those days.
CFF.
Dude, CF was my bridge language. Like when I was trying to teach designers how to be developers, that's how I would do it. I would teach them CFML. Anyway, then they went to the whole, but here's they never crashed. And then they switched over to J2EE and servlets and everything else, and then that's when they started having outage issues.
And that gigantic password breach that nobody wants to talk about.
So I'm wondering if now LinkedIn is going to be rewritten again in .NET.
Probably.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't, again, when are people going to revolt?
Server.
Are they? Because I think everybody they freely give all of their things to like your life is on LinkedIn, basically your work life.
Right. So, and that's the issue. It would be like, all right, fine. You don't want to keep in touch with people, or you don't want to keep in touch with people online. Go ahead, get mad, shut down your Facebook account. Nobody cares. LinkedIn is how people are finding jobs. That's how people with jobs. That's how people with jobs are finding you. It's not a real easy opt out. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen over the course of the next few months. As because it's the next. By the end of the week, we will start seeing a lot of the here's your 5 alternatives to LinkedIn articles that are going to be coming out, and here are the other sites that you want to start, migrating to if you want to stay away from them.
Is there that? I don't think there's that big of a hate, even since they pushed Windows 10 on everybody. I still don't think there's that big of a hate towards Microsoft. I don't think you can. They're there. They're your everything. You can't get away from it. What are you going to do?
Linux.
Right, not if your corporate administrator doesn't want to do Linux, then you can't do anything, right? And you got to buy Office. Office is how much? $240 or whatever it is, unless you get a coupon code.
There's still no Q in that word.
Yes, there is.
No, you can do the Office 365. It's like what, $5 a month or whatever it is.
Yeah, they want your annuity. Everybody wants the month.
Yeah, exactly. It's why AOL is still incredibly profitable because all the people that died yet still are on AutoPay.
So can we talk about the dumbest guy of the week?
Which one?
Are the most wanted, FBI's most wanted cyber criminal.
Oh, these guys got to be a badass, right? He's got to have like 20 layers of encryption and a 72-character password and a YubiKey and all those
Hugh
things.
Jackman and Swordfish, right? That's that guy, right? And he looks like Hugh Jackman, right? And he's banging Halle Berry, and he's like the coolest guy ever.
9 screens up with the Hydra monitor. And
John Travolta's got a gun to his head, and he's hacking. So what's your password? It's my cat's name plus 1, 2, 3. Seriously, it's his password was,
and it's not like his cat's name was like Mr. Bigglesworth or anything.
Chewy.
It was Chewy.
Chewy 1, 2, 3.
Chewy 1, 2, 3.
Named your cat after your granola bars.
And it's got to you almost have to I almost wonder if it's one of those things where like somebody in the counter cybercrime had to go. You know what? They do all their little social engineering. They find, okay, guy's got a cat. Guy's okay, what's the cat's name? Yada yada. I'm sure posts about him on Twitter or wherever else. He's like, what would happen if I just try Chewy 1, 2, 3?
Remind me to change the combination of my luggage.
Right. Because why? Like, what? How does that even happen? Like, as a self-respecting
my 9-year-old
hacker.
Doesn't have that kind of password to her Apple ID.
Yeah.
Right?
I saw a security guidance doc the other day for a company where they're having 16-character passwords for their devs.
Oh.
16. And that's just a company, right? This is not the most notorious hacker on the FBI's
we went
most wanted list.
For 4-digit pins on my phone and on my DX80 at Cisco, we had to go to 6.
Yeah, I went from pin to actual word password on my iPhone. So, yeah.
So, other dumb guy of the week, and I love this story because it's made me laugh all week, is Fat Axl Rose. So, in case you missed the memo, Axl Rose is now fat and is angry and has had his legal team issuing DMCA takedown notices across the internet.
Wait, DMCA takedown, that's like when I post a company song to YouTube in a video,
right?
And they remove it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So how does that work with a picture that someone took at an event?
So apparently, said photographer at said event signed something. At least he may or may not have. He can't remember. It was 5-6 years ago. He thinks that said basically all my pictures belong to you.
Whoa.
Right. So someone found this picture of Fat Axl Rose, and of course, as the internet is wont to do, it became meme central.
Some pretty good memes out there, too.
They're absolutely hilarious. Welcome to the jungle. We got pies and cakes. Oh, sweet cream pie of mine. It's outstanding. I loved every minute of it.
So speaking as a larger gentleman, we all have our moments. We all get, and if I'm gonna be a lead singer of a band and someone takes a picture of me, I can't be like, no, you can't take a picture of me. I was on stage in front of 20,000 people. Take it down.
Well, but Beyonce did. There was no Beyonce only Zool photo that was floating around.
As soon as anyone finds out, the internet goes bonkers.
Oh, so that's the thing. I mean, how much more attention are you drawing to this?
The internet's all 7-year-old kids. They're like,
we are.
You don't want it? I'm going to do a double, and I'm going to make Photoshop battles on Reddit, and they make it worse and push buttons and. There's no. That's what I don't get. Like the whole thing, starting with like Metallica going, "Don't pirate my music." I'm going to do it on purpose now, just because you said don't.
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to download your crap, but now I'm going.
So I didn't even like it, but I never liked it. But now, just for spite.
Do you remember that cartoon? It was Napster bad, Metallica good.
Right.
Oh, so much.
One of my favorite stories of the week, and it's okay because the monkey didn't die. We had enough monkey death last week. It was a monkey in Kenya that hopped on the building of a power grid, of a power station, and tried to apparently leap over to another area of the building and grabbed onto one of the power cables.
Like monkeys do.
Like monkeys do.
Totally.
And you would assume in Kenya, monkey would be like part of your standard operating guide of what to be aware of.
We're monkey proof to standard IT.
Exactly. We have 99.999 monkey proofness. So monkey grabs onto cable, manages to pull cable down off of pole, triggers blackout to Kenya. Like monkey jumping across building and grabbing wire, blacked out
Kenya's
Kenya.
like 40 million, isn't it? Like it's a huge country.
Because it triggered it triggered. Yeah, it's not like it was like middle of night. No, it triggered a rolling blackout across Kenya because a monkey grabbed a power line.
This was the largest hydroelectric station in all of East Africa, too.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Taken out by we don't have to worry about hackers coming after our power grid. Monkeys.
How did the monkey walk away from that?
They said apparently it dropped to the ground,
not grounded,
and that was the monkey lived, which apparently there were monkey had mild burns, but monkey apparently walked away.
Big white streak down his back like a skunk.
Right.
What kind of monkey is that, Mom?
It's now an albino monkey. But I did. I mean that just floored me. Like a monkey took out a country's power grid. That's amazing.
And the one that pissed off Nuri this week is, this is the last time we're ever mentioning her name on this show.
I think she gets like $1 every time her name is mentioned. She must.
Chewbacca Mom, to date, has received almost $500,000 worth, not just payments from YouTube, gifts from talk shows and from the things.
But what are the tax implications on this? Like, that could be the happy moment for you, Nuri. Because it's sort of like when you win a car on a game show and then you have to pay all the taxes on the car to keep the car.
I think, right?
Yeah. So, she might be getting like a lot of stuff, but it's also now been publicized how much stuff she's gotten. So that there's some IRS agent, like, I don't know, wearing the Jabba the Hutt mask going, oh.
And the bulk of that money, though, came from, college scholarships? So some, quote, Christ-centered school in Florida has given all of her kids scholarships to go to the school because it somehow espouses, like, perfect Christian family values and how she's happy in her kids and stuff like that. So that's where most of that comes from. But do you really want it? Do I have to pay taxes on something I don't want?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I would assume that wouldn't kick in until the kids actually go there.
Oh, and they also said how much we talked about her being at Fan Expo Dallas.
Right, next to John Cusack.
Right. $2,000 is all they paid her.
Oh, my God.
But the fact that they paid her.
Right.
Is,
It'd be more like, you get to sit next to John Cusack. You're coming for free.
John Cusack's still crying himself to sleep. It's been 10 days.
Yeah, exactly. I guess we'll talk a little tech. So there's a company called Movimento that's apparently based out here in Plymouth somewhere. They are trying to be the wireless backbone and infrastructure for all the OEMs, for the car manufacturers. The part of this article that kind of jumped out at me, so they want to be like kind of like Tesla does with their software updates and all that kind of stuff. They want to do this for all cars. The part of the article that jumped out at me was that safety and security updates would be applied silently in the background while the car was in motion.
Oh.
Okay, everyone in this room has a computer. How many times have you seen, we're just going to install these updates silently and quietly in the background? So
you have to reboot your car.
That's my concern.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to hop out, pull the handle, push the antenna, and like kick the tire. It's like a control.
You got to open the gas tank, close the gas tank, open the gas tank, close the gas tank.
Open the ashtray, close the ashtray.
Yeah, exactly. No, cars don't have ashtrays anymore.
My Cadillac does.
It's actually super cool, though. I mean, there's been so many stories in the news lately about, like, remember Nissan had that thing where their app was insecure, and if you sniffed the traffic, you could basically unlock and start cars because they just did a shitty job securing their APIs.
With Jeeps, you can stop them.
What?
Oh, yeah. You talked about that, Dave, didn't you? Where you could like get into there. It was very open, easy access, and basically you're pulling the e-brake or just push the regular brakes. I forget.
They set off the e-brake.
Yeah,
and so I mean that was the thing, and actually that's a good tie-in to the last thing I shot across was so the NSA is now being very open and honest that they are actively paying attention to Internet of Things, and they are looking at harvesting data from your refrigerator, from your pacemaker, and from everything else that you are your thermostats, Bob. And everything else you are.
I've got one of those too. Yeah. And I was appliance shopping this weekend, and God, what was it? Was it a hot water heater? Most of those now have Wi-Fi. It was like a stove or something.
Why?
Or a dishwasher.
Why does a hot water heater need Wi-Fi?
Just a water heater. If it's hot, you don't need a heater.
You know what? I'm sorry. I was busy at the ATM machine using my PIN number.
Oh, all right.
Wow, it's one of my pet peeves too. Actually, I'm going to
preheat the oven while you're at it. I'm going to heat it.
Well, I mean, I get it in a hot water heater, right?
It's the appetizer heating. It's the heat before the heat.
Right. It's like all of a sudden your hot water heater, like mine did 2 weeks ago, gets pissed off and decides to stop holding water. All of a sudden now your hot water heater is like, holy shit! Here's a push alert saying that your basement is now flooded. Right. So I get it, kind of.
There's too many things.
Like I said, like on paper, I would love. Like I think. Well, I would love. Yeah, I think it would be cool. Like if I could be at the grocery store, and and there's nobody at home, and do I need eggs? All right.
The Samsung new fridge. It takes a picture on the inside. It's like the Gremlin from the Kitchen of the Future from the Woody Woodpecker cartoons.
Yeah. Do I? Can I tweet my fridge? My fridge tweets back. Yeah, here's a picture. You need eggs. That's cool. Creepy.
No,
cool. I mean, it's one of
only if you saw the little gremlin turn the lights off when you close the door. Then that'd be awesome if they like.
There's like 4 people listening that get that right. I mean, I'm one of them. I loved that cartoon, but yeah, there's like 4 that'll get that.
If you're over 40, you get it. If not, sorry.
And speaking about the cars and updates, you guys see that story about Tesla? It knows there was a story where a guy basically is like, auto drive screwed up and made me crash into something. And then Tesla took the car. Tesla looked at the logs and was like, nope, he pushed the accelerator himself. So basically the story was that other manufacturers are looking at the same tech and saying, we now know every time you turn your steering wheel because that's an electronic control, right? So
but they've had that forever with the black box, no?
Black boxes in cars?
Oh, God, like that.
Mr. Gojai pushed 2.1 pounds of power on the accelerator.
I don't know that it's been that detailed, but I mean, like they've known, how fast you're going when you're getting into a car accident, that kind of stuff.
Or he was futzing with a radio when he ran into the car accident. I mean,
that was the big that was the huge conspiracy theory why they really did the cash for clunkers thing was because they wanted all the cars off the road that didn't have the black boxes in them. And
just like lead paint.
He was on Reddit threads for weeks
just
about
like
that one.
Lead paint, so you can't X-ray through the houses.
Right.
I know everything. So are you going to talk about your Ellen's friend, by the way, before we go to a break?
We totally should.
Oh, we totally should. So Ellen, and by the way, on a related Ellen note, there was a great meme that was floating around that it's amazing that people are getting all the conservatives are getting like pissed off and up in arms because there's apparently a lesbian couple in the new Finding Dory, the new Disney movie that's just like an outrage and blasphemy that there's going to be a lesbian couple.
Sure, it just wasn't one person like it always is.
No, apparently they had like groups that were
Starbucks cup guy at it again.
But apparently they're failing to miss that the main character of the movie is Ellen DeGeneres, who's a lesbian and was in the first movie Just saying. Anyway, so apparently the Ellen is getting sued by a real estate agent because she did a segment, I believe it was called, they didn't really think that through or something like that about the ads.
Or funny signs.
There's a woman that's a real estate agent out there with her name is spelled Titi, and then her last name is Pierce. So Bob and Nuri would immediately were 11 years old. It's Titty Pierce. And apparently the sign they showed had her phone number on it. Her phone's been blowing up.
Well, she's a real estate agent. It's,
right. So
it's a yard
mad.
sign.
Yeah. And she was mad because, the sign got out there and people started calling her. But the unbelievable part of this lawsuit is that this grown woman who's, I'm guessing, late 20s, early 30s.
35 years old.
Yeah,
35. Says that never in her whole life with that name, has anybody called her Titty Pierce.
What a boob. Seriously?
I'm like, there is no ever-living way, and unless you fell from the sky and landed on this planet 2 weeks ago, there is no way in hell that you grew up with the name TT.
Was it Tai? How do you pronounce it?
I don't know. T-I-T-I.
It's TT is what the article said.
Yeah. Everyone knows Lake Titicaca is T-I-T-I,
right.
C-A-C-A.
So there's no...
You learn that when you're 6 years old.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. There's no way. And I hope with every fiber of my being that Ellen's legal team is finding everybody she went to kindergarten with.
Wouldn't TT be T-E-E-T-E-E? T-I-T-I is titty.
But it's like Nefertiti, right? T-I-T-I is how you spell that, right?
And that's titty.
I kind of get it.
Anybody, I do. I hope they're finding everybody she went to kindergarten through high school with.
YouTube videos. Oh yeah, we call her that.
And then they're going to have them all on her show.
Oh, football team. Yeah,
that's right. You all get trips to the Ellen DeGeneres show. Oh yeah, we all called her that.
Right.
No, I get the whole not blurring out the cell phone number, right? That's totally legit.
But you have placed that number on a sign at your discretion out in the public view. Yeah. That is, you got nothing.
Yeah, it's not like it was an unlisted number in your private, in your phone book. No, you got your mug and your cell phone on a sign.
And the words titty piercing. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
Pierce. Sorry.
It's now not a verb.
I was thinking about Jessica there for a minute.
But hey, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna be back with the folks from Comcast talking all things Comcast. This is the ITintheD show, and we'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
Hey, this is John Snyder from Nip Tuck Smallville, the haves and the have-nots. Oh, Dr. Quinn, Hot in Cleveland, Secret Life of the American Teenager, and just about everything you can possibly imagine. And oh yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard. You're listening to Bob and Dave. It's the IT in the D show.
ITintheD.com. This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D show.
Welcome back. This is segment 2, episode 148. The one and only IT in the D show, and we are broadcasting live in what is soon to be Studio 3 here in Podcast Detroit in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy hanging out with Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG. Find us out online, ITintheD.com. Don't forget, mark your calendars this Thursday, one of our socials at the Hamlin Corner right on Main Street in Royal Oak. No cover, no speakers, no insurance sales people, no Aflac people, no offense, just IT folks.
Plenty of offense. There's usually at least one good offended.
None taken. We'll just be hanging out, having a few drinks, talking shop with other IT folks, and should be a good time. They always are.
Yeah, but this segment's brought to you by Atlassian. Basically, IT teams now are creating the coolest stuff ever. Like you have companies like Amazon building crazy virtual clouds. The amount of cool stuff we do in tech is just amazing. So basically, teams are building it. But how do you keep all your teams together while you're building such cool stuff?
Because realistically, not all of your teams are together. And even if you've got the same company, you've got your legal team, you've got your devs, you've got the front end people, the UI people, the UX people, the color people, the draft copy people,
my Seattle people, my India people, right?
Exactly.
So like continuous operations, things like that. So basically, that's what Atlassian was created for. It's And I'm a major fan of this. I use this every single day at work. I use all of their products, and it basically makes my DevOps team run. They make collaboration software that lets teams work together. That's basically all they do. So there's a great way to track bugs and manage tasks for products. So if you're doing sprint planning and if you're doing, guys basically working bugs from a system, that's what Jira's for. You can assign, track, manage tasks for basically any project. And if you want to keep documentation, you've got a product called Confluence. It's basically like a wiki on crack, if you will.
Yeah.
And it basically is a great enterprise knowledge place to organize results and bring other people up to speed. And then HipChat, which is the coolest chat software I've ever used. Basically, I manage a geographic team all over the world, and we sit in HipChat all day long and shoot the shit, and we post videos and memes and also do some real work. There's also a product called Bitbucket, which lets you to test.
It's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, we actually do real work. Hey, Eric, if you're listening. So we test, review, and manage code in real time in a product called Bitbucket. And the best part about Atlassian's products is that they all integrate together. And they integrate with other things. So if you create a Jira item, you can link it to your ServiceNow. You can basically mention
you can link it to the requirement that it didn't adhere to, and that's why it's a bug.
Exactly.
Which back to the Confluence page, which were the requirements.
I mean, yes, thank you for your support, Atlassian, but I really love your products.
I use it every day.
100% endorsement of their products. So visit Atlassian.com. That's Atlassian, and see how Jira, Confluence, HipChat, and Bitbucket can give your team everything you need to organize, discuss, and complete shared work. Atlassian, helping teams everywhere team up to create what's next. Atlassian.com.
Oh, you're money nary.
Thanks,
man. So good.
I'm seriously.
It's almost like he does voiceover.
Yeah, I know. Go figure.
I seriously love their stuff. So.
Go figure. So, we are always friends with people that bring in bags of swag. And we got the local team here from Comcast brought us bags of swag. Michelle Gilbert, repeat offender in the house, and Eunice, who's the store manager at the Midtown location, are hanging out with us. Appreciate coming by.
Oh, it's always fun.
So we went down to the grand opening for the downtown location, and it was kind of like we sat there and we were like, well, out in the burbs, you're not going out to the to the store. I mean, I guess what was their inclination to open up a store, like a retail front in downtown?
Well, the idea behind it, and a lot of people don't realize this, but we've been in Detroit for a long, long time. And with Comcast investing at an Xfinity store in the heart of downtown Detroit, the feedback we've been getting from our customers has been nothing but really great. I mean, we all know right now it's a really exciting time to be in Detroit. A lot of new investment, new companies coming in. And what Comcast is trying to do is we're no longer really trying to just meet the customer's expectation. We're really trying to exceed that. And by offering a store where customers can come in, speak to a professional sales consultant, get professional recommendations on our products and services, it's really enhancing that customer experience. And we're really glad to be down there.
Have you noticed any kind of the public's reaction, right? So when you have people coming in from Detroit, how are they responding to having a store so close to them right there in Midtown?
I think the best part is really seeing those customers that do come in and, their first reaction. Of course, our facility looks really great. Customers can come in. And with our products, we're constantly innovating. So there's a lot of technology. With having that store in Woodward and downtown Detroit, it gives us the opportunity to bridge that technology gap for those customers that might not be as tech savvy. So there's a lot of in-store demonstrations that we do with our customers. We're actually able to take a customer that comes in and says, hey, I'm interested in internet service, but I don't know what speed I need. And we can do the product demonstration with them and actually find out, okay, this is the speed that you're going to want that's going to satisfy all your needs. And at the end of the day, it just creates a better customer experience.
Well, it's smart business in my case because, calling a call center, no offense there, I know it's what you do. But, you'd much rather shake a hand and you get that personal feel. You get that personal touch. Anytime you can do that, I will do that all day long before I have to call in, especially something that's it's a major commitment. You're stuck with them. You're not stuck, but you know what I mean? You're picking this service for your house, and it's going to be a 5-6 year thing.
Well, if I'm Joe Internet user, how am I supposed to know the difference between 3 meg service down and 10 megs? Or 10 and 25, right?
15.
Yeah, exactly. These are great numbers, but how does that really impact my bottom line, Bob? Right. So.
Well, it's kind of like that commercial where, you look at a commercial for a TV, and you're like, that picture on that TV is way better than the picture on mine,
Yeah, totally. A high def versus standard def.
That was a grenade joke. Sorry, but it's how you feel. Like our internet's fat. Like the one Is it your commercials that were in the mall and they go like, oh, this is way faster than mine? Well, because you're set up in an environment. But still, it's always nice to get the touchy-feely before you jump into something like that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And we also offer our 30-day commitment to our customers. So you sign up with our services. We're very confident you're going to love the services. You have that 30-day window that if for any reason, whatever it may be, you decide that, you're not happy, you have that option. And that's something that we offer our customers.
So Michelle, I mean, just to jump around real quick, one of the things that's near and dear to our hearts is that your Internet Essentials program. And we always talk about Detroit having a huge just data divide, just where just getting people online is a huge battle. I guess from a PR standpoint, it's a great thing, but how is you getting the word out? I guess how can we help? Because I mean, we talk about it everywhere we go, and I think it's kind of invaluable. But I guess talk to me about what more are you guys doing to get that out there?
So this is actually the most important time to be talking about programs like Internet Essentials and getting families who need internet connected, because when kids are in school, they at least have access to the internet when they're in school. But if they don't have internet at home, they don't have access at all unless they have access to like a smartphone. So our Internet Essentials program goes year round. A lot of the outreach that we do happens, tends to be through the schools, through the Boys and Girls Club, through Big Brothers, Big Sisters. And we're out and about at a lot of different events. They tend to fall during the back to school season, but we're willing and able to team up with anyone and provide resources and materials to get the word out.
Last time I checked, it was $9.95 a month if you were on the free lunch program.
Yep.
Which is so crazy. I was talking to my wife about this, and she taught at an inner city Detroit elementary school.
Right.
And she started off asking, so do you have internet access, or do you have access to the internet?
Right.
And she's like, kids were like, oh yeah. And then the more she dug into this, she found out because the kids would go over to like their aunt's house or their grandfather's house, and someone. Right. So she started asking, "Do you have internet at home?
Right.
And do you have access to it all the time? Right." So I think this program is huge. I mean, Detroit has a 47% functional literacy rate among adults. And I think having that access to low or almost free internet access at home. And you guys also do work with computers, helping folks get low-cost computers at home?
Yep. So part of the program is to put a laptop in the family's hands for $150, and then all the free training that they need. And we provide in-person training, online training, because if someone's never had access to the internet before, and you guys were joking about it before, the simplicity of putting together a password. But if you don't know, you need someone to teach you and to guide you, and you shouldn't have to pay for that.
Some prince is trying to send me $300 million if I only give him my credit card number.
Sign me up. Well, that's what we were talking about. We were launching the ITintheD Career Academy, and we were offering IT certifications. And then someone kind of stopped us and said, well, what about the people that don't even know how to, you're telling people to get an A+ certification when they don't even know how to use the basic, computer.
Right.
And you're like, you kind of open up your eyes, like, I didn't even think about that because we're so accustomed to how we grew up.
Right. We take it for granted. Yeah. And part of the thing is we listen to our customers and the feedback that they give us on the program. So every year we make updates. And last year, we've increased the speed. So the speeds now are 10 megabits per second. And Nuri, while that may not be fast enough for you, the program is called Internet Essentials.
Right.
And it is intended to give them the speeds that they need to do the kinds of things that they need to pay bills, to get online and do research or do online classes.
Not run a flop house for developers, Nuri.
Right.
It's an incubator, Dave. It's an incubator.
But the other thing that we provided last year is free routers.
What?
So that they can now use Wi-Fi at home, which is really important, because if you think about the way you use the internet at your house, unless your office is at home and you're hardwired, all the rest of the internet usage that you have is pretty much on your tablets, your laptops, your smartphones, your smart TV, your smart refrigerator.
Well, and you want them to hit the Wi-Fi network so they're not, you're not hitting a data usage rate on a cell phone or something like that. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So, I can get you materials. We can talk offline about.
Yeah, I ordered posters. That was the thing, me being involved with the PTA for our school. Our school was half free lunch program in Auburn Hills. So I mean, I ordered posters and the whole nine, and had the PTA. And that's kind of not to say it's an idea, but it might be for fundraising. You might get a lot more activity in the cities and whatnot if you 'cause especially with funding being an issue at a lot of these schools. Put a fundraising component in it and kind of make it a competitive thing. So I mean, I'm just saying different ways to get the word out, because I think it's honestly it's my favorite program to help kids out. Other than a few of the food programs and all that, but that's I'm talking from a technology standpoint.
The statistics are amazing too. 600,000 families connected, 48,000 schools, and $240 million in cash to support partners, and 3.2 million people reached through trainings. Those statistics are that's really cool stuff.
Thank you. We we're really committed to this, and we're committed to improving it every year, and we work really hard. We've got a dedicated, small but dedicated team that just works with schools and organizations to get the materials and to be at their events.
That's great. So what about, so switching gears for a second, what about cool stuff Comcast is doing to improve the customer experience? I know you guys have been busy putting in hotspots around town, right?
All right, so let's talk hotspots. And I think it does improve the customer experience, because what we're trying to do is give our customers the ability to stay connected wherever they go. So we've activated 700 outdoor public hotspots. So these are in places where you are, in the public where a lot of people congregate. So Eastern Market, for example, downtown Royal Oak, downtown Ann Arbor, St. Clair Shores along the waterfront, places like that. We're going to continue building out in Lansing and Grand Rapids. And if you are a customer and you download the Xfinity Wi-Fi app, once you log in, you will automatically connect to our Wi-Fi wherever you go. We've got 10 million around the country, so we all know that people travel outside of Michigan. So the ability to be able to save on a wireless data plan or put that tablet in your kids' hands and let them be connected is, it's pretty cool. So I consider that a real value add. We're just trying to give our customers more value for the products and services that they're paying for.
Yep, and to add to that, actually, customers that are not Comcast customers are also going to have the ability to, I think it's 2 hours per month.
Yeah, so we give non-customers the ability to access our outdoor hotspots, really any of our hotspots, up to 2 1-hour sessions every single month. And then if they have a need beyond that, they can certainly buy a package, and we have different packages based on their needs.
Yeah, we were talking during the break. You guys are offering, we as consumers, we want it now, and we don't care, and it better be there, or I'm going to complain on the internet. And but like you brought up an awesome function about getting, like when I'm on the road all the time, Nuri's on the road all the time, getting my DVR and getting my things.
Right.
The ability to kind of stream all my stuff. You can watch live TV, that's one thing, but being able to watch old movies or basically getting access to your library sitting out in the cloud is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, so, and you talk about the complaining. So one of the things, and we've had this conversation before, that people get pissed off about is, well, I'm not getting any value from my TV. I'm never home to watch my TV. And we have a TV Go app where our customers can watch live streaming TV or access on demand. But what they really want is they want to be able to record their shows and watch them wherever they go, because they're not always in front of that big, beautiful HD TV that they spent, however many thousands of dollars on. But now they can download the shows to their tablet, to their laptop, even to their mobile phone, and take them with them. And if they're not in a Wi-Fi or they don't have a 4G connection, as long as they download them before, there's no data. It's great. So it's it's coming probably by mid-July. And what's the confusing look for? What's that look for, Nuri?
I think that's pretty cool, because I am not so above board with my television downloading habits. So if I had a DVR and could automatically...
Wow, that was a nice political tap dance there, buddy.
And if I could instantly just move them over to my cell phone and watch them on the airplane while I'm on... It's so great.
Exactly.
I hear
it takes binge watching.
Well, so
to a new level.
he was looking at me because I was a TiVo guy from way back in the day, and TiVo to Go has been around since 4. So I mean, it's good that Comcast has that. I mean, that's been a must-have, constantly used feature from a TiVo perspective with me. And then, like, with that kind of stuff starting to catch on, I've got 6 in the house. I've actually started thinking about, is it time to maybe start phasing them out and using like the DVR functionality in the Comcast DVRs. But I've grown accustomed to some of the things like TiVo to go and that kind of stuff, where if now that stuff's available through Comcast, cool.
And is your TiVo? I'm not super familiar. So if it's on the TiVo, is it stored in the cloud also?
It can be.
Okay, so if your TiVo breaks, you don't lose your shows.
Right.
Okay.
So, well, and I've also got, I've got my TiVos. They all have external hard drives. I've got sling boxes that throw stuff at.
Redundant cloud backups.
Yeah, so you've
I'm
built this
abnormal.
You must watch a lot of TV.
No, I don't. Actually, I don't. But when I do, I watch all of it. I have this. TV networks have pissed me off to the point where I will not watch season 1 of a show, because I've gotten burned so many times where I get into a show and I love the show, and then it never gets renewed. So until a renewal notice comes out that a show that I'm really interested in gets renewed, then I go back and I binge watch the entire thing and get all caught up. And same kind of thing. I think I've gone through. I'm 4.5 seasons into Game of Thrones in about 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
So I'd be remiss. I mean, everyone talks about all the time is kind of, we're all moving to consumption based, cloud based. How soon before everything becomes a la carte? Is that even a thing? I know Congress is talking about pushing it, but I don't think they're not going to push it. It's going to either be done by the service provider or it's not. Do you see it even being a thing in the next 3 years?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm the right person to answer that question. I know it's what everybody wants. There's going to have to be a new model, and it's not based on just the service provider. It's the programmers, too.
Well, we started doing math, and it's like you buy HBO for $10.95 a month, and you're buying Showtime for $12.95 a month. Now on ESPN, that's $14.95 a month. And by the time I add all these things up, I just, I'm paying the same as what I'm paying for.
That's exactly right. People assume, well, if I'm only watching 12 stations, I should divide my bill, and just pay for 12 of those stations. So
take my cable bill, divide it by 1,000, because that's how many channels I have.
It's kind of like when you go to the all-you-can-eat buffet, but I only had the Chinese part. I didn't get the Italian or the seafood, or I should only pay for the
Right.
I mean, really, that's the same thing. Yeah. You ate a lot. It's just you ate one.
You focused
one little area, right?
You binge ate.
but I mean, clearly, we're doing everything we can. We're coming up with a lot of different plans to meet customers' needs. We have things called skinny bundles. We're piloting a program called Stream where you don't even need the cable box and you can just stream. As long as you have our internet package, you can really stream from any of your mobile devices, so you don't even need a TV. So there's a lot of things that we're trying, and what we like to do is we like to pilot things in certain markets and start out slow and work out kinks and get feedback from those customers and then build it up. So there's a lot of things that are changing behind the scenes as well as in front of our customers. And we've talked about this before. It's a big ship. It takes a long time to change perception, but I can tell you that every single day there are changes that are being made. Our on-time rate, people always complain, you were late, blah, blah, blah. Well, our on-time rate is in like the 99.7% consistently.
But you won't hear from them.
Correct. That's
You'll
the thing.
only hear from the 0.3.
They need like Uber and the Domino's app for the Comcast app. That would make it the most amazing thing ever.
They actually kind of do.
So you see the van coming down the street, and you know where. So I can go to Meijer and grab some bread and milk.
So
and because he's down the street, you know what I mean?
Right. So it's funny you say that, because we have been testing an app that does just that. And what's interesting, though, is in Michigan, we actually started trialing something about 1.5 to 2 years ago where we basically don't give our techs their schedule for the day. What we say is, okay, here's your first job. When you're done with that first job, we're going to send you to your next job. And we may very well call the customer and say, hey, we can be there earlier than you expected us if you're ready. And the reason we do that is so that we're not wasting people's time. We're not making them wait. And we're getting our techs to the locations based on where they're already at and based on when they finish their last job. So that app that we're testing doesn't give people that half-hour window anymore, because they may only be 5 minutes away. But we still, if a customer says, look, I'm not ready for you, okay, we will come back in 15 minutes when you say you're there.
Your window is going to be from 8 a.m. till noon, and I get there at 12:15.
But then you get a $20 credit on your bill.
I know. That was just being funny. I know you guys are being very good about that. If you, I see commercials for it all the time. If they're late, if they're not on time, they're getting.
And actually, our customers cannot download our My Account app, and if they have a scheduled install, they can actually go through the app. If let's say they need to reschedule it, they can do that all through the app. Another great thing with the app is you'll actually know when your technician is arriving. You'll get his name, his picture. So it's a lot going into the whole customer experience. I mean, when you think about it, Comcast, we've made the statement that the customer experience will be our number one product. And, with over 155,000 employees, that's kind of what Michelle said. That's a big ship to move. But we want our customers to know that we're implementing all these changes and we're really focused on the customer's viewpoint. Through automated support, reliability of our services, making sure that it's all, if you're connected to the Wi-Fi, it's always on. Employee empowerment, so employees are being trained to handle all types of questions and concerns.
So a good follow-up question to that, though. So talk to me about the general overwhelming perception, that it's more about acquisition than retention. I mean, I know we've touched on that before, where again, perception greater than reality. It seems like Comcast and companies of that ilk are more interested in acquiring new customers than keeping the ones that they have.
So I think, and I'm not trying to place blame on anyone else, it is an issue. It is still an issue. It's not perception. It is reality. It's starting to change. We are testing a lot of different things. But that's an industry issue as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's something that needs to be fixed, because it is the reason our industry has a negative perception, is that people don't feel like they are valued unless they become that new customer. And that's why you see so many people jumping ship every year.
Going to go to WOW for a year, and then I'll come back to Comcast for a year.
Right. Exactly. I don't have that magic bullet. I'm not a finance person who can say this financially makes sense. But what I can tell you is, we're looking at, and people, see, here's the thing. Everybody likes to get that, 2-year promotion pricing, and then they conveniently forget and get angry when the pricing runs out. So there's this vicious cycle that happens, which again, we've got to get out of. But what we're trying to do is look at other ways that we can let our customers know we appreciate them, whether it's, hey, happy anniversary, thanks for being a loyal customer. We'd like to offer you, an on-demand coupon booklet or things like that.
Just don't send it with my bill, because I never open it.
Right. You made up, and that was not us, by the way.
No, it wasn't.
But you made a valid point, and that's absolutely true. Is you've got to look at, how is this customer getting their bill? What is the best way to communicate with them?
Well, cool.
Hey, we're bouncing up against a break.
Here we are.
If you guys were hanging out for the fourth segment, we'd love to have you back on for the rest of the show.
Yeah, I'd like to talk DOCSIS 3.1 and future plans for Detroit. So, yeah.
But hey, we're going to be back with Dave Dulek. We're going to talk about the IT job market and recruiting and what in the heck's going on. This is the IT in the D show, and we'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
Hi, I'm Brittany Daniel from The Game, and you're listening to IT in the D Show.
ITintheD.com.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.
Welcome back. Segment 3, episode 148 of the number 1 ranked technology podcast on SoundCloud this week. None other than the IT in the D Show, broadcasting out of the soon-to-be Studio 3 here in Podcast Detroit in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan.
Rename and renumber everything in the app. I got a site. I got to define.
It's all in the name of fun. Bob the Sales Guy. That's Dave the Geek here with Nuri the FNG. Find us out online, ITintheD.com. Don't forget, mark your calendars. This Thursday, the 16th, we're going to be at the Hamlin Corner, 5 o'clock until question mark, for our good old-fashioned monthly social, what made IT in the D famous. going all the way back.
The blogs made us infamous.
Right.
The events made us famous.
Right. It was an excuse to have a drink with friends and get away from our wives, and lo and behold, it's become this.
An empire was born.
Right. But hey, this episode or this segment is brought to you by our good friends at Weebly. We talk about this all the time.
We talk about it with all of our shows.
I need website. Dave doesn't like me calling him saying, build me website. So Weebly makes it easy for guys like me to make website. And the last thing I am is a web designer, even though I did some, I edited one long time ago and FTP'd it and uploaded it and actually got it to work. This is back in like 01. And I decided.
I remember you were very proud of yourself. You actually did it like a notepad.
And I never wanted, I swore a Dreamweaver. I swore I would never do a website ever again. Weebly makes it so easy. They have awesome templates, drag and drop. It looks good. It looks like I'm proud to show people this is
respectable.
I'm not embarrassed that it's some 96 under construction with the the warning sign with
the animated
construction
GIF
right.
Yeah.
This is actually they look slick, whether you're a restaurant or a bar or you're a photographer putting up a portfolio or just putting out a personal blog. Weebly makes it crazy easy, and I couldn't be more impressed with how fun it was to do. Literally didn't even take a few hours.
Yeah,
you gotta learn some of the back end stuff, but once you get the hang of it,
you had to ask me a couple questions. You were good.
Yeah. But hey, do us a favor. There's over 30 million people who are already using Weebly. You can too. Get started today for free at Weebly.com. That's Weebly.com/IT. Weebly.com/IT. And join the club. Exactly. Thanks for the support. Exactly. Actually, that was good. I'll give you that.
All right, so hey, we've got Dave Dulac here in the studio with us from Qualigence, and Dave, we go way back to the Great Lakes Technologies Group days,
back around 2000.
Yeah.
I think about it, it's like holy crap.
Yeah, a little. Yeah. So talk to me. I guess this is one thing that we haven't done on the show in a while now. So from your perspective, as a recruiter who's been getting people jobs in this area for closing in on 2 decades now.
Right.
What do you see in the market now, or how have you seen it evolve from your perspective?
I mean, it seems like as much as it changes, sometimes some of the basics stay the same. It's kind of like, you go through the cycle of, there's some more demand than there's supply, and then you've had some down periods where there's more supply than demand. But in any one of those cases, even like in today's age of, hey, there's a shortage of certain talent. I mean, you will see clients out there who are like, oh, well, it's going to take 3 weeks, a month, 2 months to decide, and it's kind of like, these people are long gone, and it's like, what don't you know about who you want to fill that position?
Well, that was one of the big things we noticed is, so back in 09 when we started the whole pink slip party thing, people were taking 6 months and interviewing dozens and dozens of people to fill like a $30,000 a year BA role. Right. And then like end of 2012 into 2013 that started shifting. Now, you might have one face-to-face with somebody. You might have the ability to hit them on the phone, but you've got like a week to pull the trigger, or they're gone.
Right, especially if someone's truly active.
Yeah.
As like, hey, this is going on with my company. I need to get out of here.
Yep.
Versus, there's a lot of people out there who are like, hey, tell me about what's going on out there.
That's right. The MBA degree. I'm married but available.
Right,
I'm comfy where I am, but if something better comes along,
those 3 jobs don't sound any different than what I'm doing now. And but then it's like, no, that really is what I'd really like to do next. And here's this that's a different story. And those people are sometimes a little more patient because, hey, I can stay where I'm at. I can be patient if you're company ABC that I really want to get to, versus, hey, you're like no different than anybody else. I mean, you're like Heinz 57th. It's like you're no different than the other guy. Why am I going to wait for you?
Right.
Type of thing. So it's interesting. Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously we know what's hot, right? If you're in this town and you're Java.net mobile app dev and you don't have a job, it's probably you.
Right, yeah. Right, yeah.
But I mean,
it's not me, it's you.
Right. But I mean, other than that, I mean, what are you seeing as the next kind of hot market, or what do you see as kind of like a trend that's going to be moving in shortly in terms of in-demand jobs?
I mean, I think it's those are the areas that still are going to remain hot. I mean, I don't think there's any question. Anything.
There really hasn't been much change in that for a while now.
I mean, anything in the cloud, right? You're doing anything in the cloud. That's where everybody's trying to move. Although it's kind of interesting. I had one client where they were looking for someone to, become an IT manager, and they were an international company, and this director was talking to candidates because I was listening in, and it's like, oh, what about virtualizing things, this and that, and it was interesting. There were some conversations with some people I talked to. It's kind of like, short run, that saved me how much of money, but after 5 years, in 3 years, it was saving me money. 5 years, it was cheaper not to virtualize. So I mean, it's kind of interesting depending on what you're really doing. Is all this here's the latest and greatest, but is it really short term versus long term?
Again, it's that whole cyclical mentality. I mean, it was you go back to mainframes. It was all centralized computing, and then it was fat client. I want all the horsepower on my desktop. Right. I want to be able to move and groove and run and turn and burn. Right. And then the thin client.
Yeah, it's got to be three-tier architecture.
Right.
I remember one of my cousins was a salesperson, and he was like, this client's like, oh, I want you to be 3-tier. He goes, I'll sell it to you, but you don't need it.
Right.
Well, that's what everybody wants to be, and you say you need to go to, and it's like, it depends what you're doing.
Well, yeah, and now we're back to cloud. Right. We're back to it's not on site anymore. It's somewhere else. It's what's the cloud? It's someone else's computer. That's
it's shared hosting.
We're right
Sold
back
that
to
crap in '99.
We're right back to IP-less virtual hosting.
Right. Totally.
Right.
But, you've been at a couple companies, as we've kept in touch over the years, and so now you're with Qualigence. So, I mean, what's Qualigence? What drew you to them?
Obviously, most of my career has been in more what I would call the staffing agency business, right?
Yep.
Put people on contract. Could be a contract to hire. If it was a perm job, for the most part, they were paying you a fee to do that.
Yep.
And with Qualigence, it was kind of that opportunity to, we're not really a corporate entity, but we're definitely not staffing, right? So you get to work with clients where, basically we're providing them more of a service. I mean, it's kind of a hybrid. It's kind of a retained search. It can be kind of a, RPO mix type of thing. So they're paying us for the service of sometimes, in most cases, identifying talent that is more or less passively looking for jobs, right? So they're looking at typically a little bit higher level position. There are someone's a director or a manager.
Well, I was going to say, it sounded like you were getting more into that, what's traditionally called a headhunter category, right, as opposed to like staff aug.
Right, yeah. Right. But versus basically being all fee-based, it's really a hourly service based upon us either researching and finding people's names that they can use themselves to call, or like obviously engage someone like myself to help them qualify people.
I mean, it's another good lead-in question. When you see companies, they go through waves where they're outsourcing, and now we're insourcing, and now we're outsourcing. I mean, you see the GMs of the world, we're going to outsource EDS, now we're going to bring them all on staff, and then we're going to outsource so-and-so, and then we're going to bring them all on staff, and we're going to go to India, now we're going to bring them in. I mean, is there a trend that anybody's following right now? Or is it just kind of depending on the organization?
I think it just depends on the organization. Because you'll see, I've seen it with different clients in previous companies too. It's like, whoa, geez, how come about every year you're looking for new cyber people? And it's like, well, we sent it to India, then we brought it back, and then we sent it back again.
We sent it all to India, then India got too expensive, so we moved over to the Czech Republic, and then they got too expensive.
Right.
Then we went to Russia, and then we brought it all back in.
Those people were gone. We said we don't need you, and then all of a sudden that's not working out, so we better have people on site that know what they're doing, so let's go hire some.
Well, I mean, and that gets into the kind of and one of them just, I forget which one it was, either there's no IT jobs in Metro Detroit, or the companies that there's no IT talent in Metro Detroit. Yeah. But one of them bubbled up, and that still kills me that you've got companies that go through that cycle without being forward thinking about it. I mean, it dates back to I had a conversation with a VP of IT who at the start of the conversation was lamenting the fact that they had just gotten rid of, I think it was like 30 of their like heavy duty mainframe developer guys that had been around forever. Right. And then like 20 minutes in the conversation, he's lamenting that they can't find any .NET Java mobile app dev developers. And I was like, well, are you even aware that there are programs out there that you could have taken those mainframe developers and over the course of like 6 to 8 weeks turned them into Java, .NET, mobile app dev developers who, oh, by the way, become that purple squirrel that you're always saying you want, who are those front-end developers that know intimately your back-end systems.
Right, exactly. Because I think sometimes it's, short-sighted that, everybody's out there like, oh, we're going to go to this new technology. It's like, well, where are you going to find these people? Why?
So we want this technology that's just been invented a year ago, but we want someone with 5 years of experience.
Or why is that Java person going to want to come and work on your application when it's like, well, we're kind of in a maintenance mode. We're not going to develop anything new for the next 2 years. Well, someone's not going to leave that same job to go and do less or
and you may find, I mean, there are different personality types. You have those utility players that's their role, that's their job, that's who they are and what they do. They're happy to just sit there and contently drone away at stuff.
Right.
The problem with that is if that's who you're looking for, those are by and large the most complacent people that it will take a stick of dynamite to get them out of that chair.
Right.
Because that's just how they are.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's like I'm happy in my little cube and...
Right. You just leave me alone. Yeah, they move me down to the basement.
So, Dave, you talk to an awful lot of folks looking for jobs. You do with a lot of candidates. Right. What's the biggest mistake you see in people looking for jobs? What's the one thing that make you be like, oh, thank you for your interest. I'll get back to you next week. What do you see a lot?
I mean, I think, a lot of people, and one of my pet things is always like, well, what does the job pay? And it's kind of like, well, number one, what does that matter if it's like you are only going to move for X amount of dollars? That doesn't matter what the job pays. Then it's like, I need to find you a job that pays that much or does these types of things that you want to do. Because why should I tell you about job A that only pays $90,000 when you're not moving for anything less than $110,000?
Right.
So my discussion is always like, obviously I reached out to you because I'm working on something that technically on paper you fit, right? But my point is not like, I don't, if you tell me you need 110 and the job's 90, I'm not hanging up on you because next week,
you may have that 110 job
that pays 110 and
by the way, by this time next week you got laid off and that 90-year job, that might have looked more attractive now.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, obviously that's a personality thing in terms of how someone looks at the hey, I'm just out to make X amount of dollars versus where am I going to be 3 years from now by doing this type of job or this type of work. So
there's also been a lot of people I think in the area especially who've been out of work for a while. Right. What's your advice to them trying to get back into the game?
I think really, to be honest with you, is, to say you're going to send your resume around isn't probably going to get you too far. That's where like these guys, the ITintheD event, that's probably one of the biggest things I've seen since it started back in the day of, hey, you got all this competition, and back when it first started, you're one of 20 people they can choose from.
Or 200.
Or 200. Yeah, right. Probably more like 200. So why should they go pick up your piece of paper versus, hey, at least I see a personality. Hey, we can get along, whatever. So I think, the networking thing, and like we said of your events, it's not like I got to come to an event because I need a job today, but 6 months from now, it's like I need to move on or something's happening. Hey, guess what? I know 3 people that I would trust talking to that know what they're doing that probably are going to help me find a job.
But it's getting nuts now because, I had a friend of mine that moved internally at my company, and he needed 2 manager recommendations, not his direct boss.
Yeah.
Right? Wow. And he goes, and then basically you said like, well, after I got this phone call, that put me over the edge. He's like, well, you've been working with me side by side for 4 years. Like you needed that phone call to put you over the edge? Like that's the way it's getting these days, though.
It's like the power of networking, right? So it's not your boss. It's like you've networked with 2 other managers. That's crazy.
Yeah, because your direct boss obviously has to be political and he can't say anything bad about you. But if another boss says, oh, yeah, Apparently, that's the magic sauce.
Well, and that's so, I mean, there's a guy, one of the guys from one of the other shows here on the network, is just starting to look around for a new gig, and so he'll probably be at the event on Thursday night. But I mean, that was one of the he asked me, he was like, all right, so you have all these recruiters that come to your events. Who should I be looking for? Who should I talk to? And I gave him a short list of about 4 or 5 that play in the world that he wants to play in. Here you go. Like these are, and he's like, oh, and like, and I'm like, yeah, those are all people I know that I've met at our events that I've known for years. Friends with all of them on Facebook. Feel free to name drop if you want to. But I mean, that's the point. I mean, that's what it should be.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Because obviously it's like, like anything else, what's the easiest thing is like, if you get it referred by someone who's like, hey, he's a good egg. I don't have to go jumping through hoops. Right?
I was immediately to 1930s. He's a good egg. See,
50s, versus like, obviously it's always one of the things. And you talk to candidates, and as a recruiter, it's like, oh, go post something on the proverbial job boards or on their website or whatever, and anybody that has the keyword in there sending a resume in, it's like, oh my god,
dude! I have not touched my resume on Monster, Career Builder, or wherever else. Right. I still wind up with.
Oh, there's no way.
I don't know.
There's no way.
What do you mean?
Uploading my resume to.
Oh yeah,
any of those.
So I mean, like I said, it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
I still get 5 or 6 spam emails a week
since HP in 2007. Yeah, I got my gig. That's the last time I ever did any of that.
Yeah,
ever.
Right. But to be honest with you, that's if I'm ever on a job board, I don't want the guy who's posting and 500 other people are going to talk to. Is like, okay, Dave posted 5 years ago. Is he still happy where he went 5 years ago?
Huh?
So I mean, to me, that's a more logical person to reach out to than the person who's like, I lost my job. I got to talk to everybody
now. Yeah,
race go. So.
Oh, yeah, it's always the air of desperation segment at the bar.
I haven't went on a date in 3 years. Will you go out
Somebody
with me?
talk to me. Come to my family dinner tomorrow night.
Now.
All right. So where do people find Qualigence? How do they find what kind of jobs you guys have available? Or we're going to see you Thursday night.
Well, you won't see me Thursday.
Perfect.
Obviously it's Qualigence.com.
How do you spell that?
Qualigence.
There's a Q in
we do
there.
jobs all over the U.S.
Okay.
And we even sometimes have some foreign ones, I believe. So, it's not always just positions here in Detroit. And like I said, it's obviously, we do tech, but we also do non-tech as well.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
That's good.
We don't care about the non-Detroit. We don't care about the non-tech. So you just keep your mouth shut about that stuff.
Nice, Bob.
I'm kidding. I kid.
Yeah, right.
But hey, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back for this 4th segment, the Royal Rumble of the ITintheD show, and we'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
Hey guys, it's Time Hawk, Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon. You're listening to the ITintheD show.
ITintheD.com.
This is a previously recorded episode of the ITintheD show.
Thank you for listening and welcome back. This is segment 4 of episode 148 of the ITintheD show. And we are broadcasting live here in the future home of studio number 3 in Podcast Detroit in beautiful. We still don't have a name on the building, though, which that's the next thing. Once the name's on the building, like right now we're putting up the green and black foam tiles, right? And I think once the name's on the marquee, that's when it's going to finally hit.
That's when it got real.
It hasn't hit yet. I'm still like, it's still growing on me. We've only been here 2 weeks, and it's like, I kind of, and we still don't have a TV outside, but that's fine, whatever. But yeah, that green, once you see the green and charcoal
it's
tiles.
Pretty tight.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, find everything you need to know about us at ITintheD.com, and do us a favor, Apple or Android, you can download the Podcast Detroit app and listen to close to almost 60 shows now that we have going on at Podcast Detroit. Everything from sports to yuck talk shows to comics to business to wellness to everything in between. But yeah, check that out, podcastdetroit.com.
So, the one I almost forgot that I want to touch on. Steph Curry's grandpa shoes.
I didn't think they were that bad.
They're neither do I, but I see people like 80 years old walking around malls in them all the time. That's exactly what they look like.
My dad says Velcro though. His didn't have Velcro.
I was gonna say they have to have Velcro.
Yeah, Steph Curry said, like, I always talk to my dad. I'm like, Pop, let me get you a pair of like these Skechers slip-ons. Like, at least they don't look like that. I like these. You know, and, what the hell's wrong with Steph Curry? It's kind of like when Stephon Marbury had the $30 shoes at Stephen Barry's and he got destroyed. And it's like, so he's putting out an affordable pair of shoes for the kids, and you guys are making fun of him because he's got dad shoes on. Like, leave him alone. You know,
they're just not what you expect with the typical NBA player hype and commercials and deals.
Kevin
and
McHale cons. Like, what do you want? What do you want him to wear?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I thought it was funny.
I had Air Force Ones. Like,
why?
Because I play basketball.
Oh, Lord.
Nelly made a song about my shoes. It was a great day. But speaking of stuff like from old school, so I go to the flea market once in a while because it's fun. It's instead of going to a psychiatrist. And
there's no wrestling this weekend.
Treating depression. Right. Good wrestling crowd, good flea market crowd. I'm shocked how much Nintendo 64 games are going for. And it led into a story about Disney VHS tapes. That if you have a Black Diamond Disney VHS tape, they're going for up to $5,000 on the Amazon.
VHS,
480p, right? Just terrible grainy quality, little tracking lines and everything.
Yep. There's some people have like the whole set for like selling them for 20 G's. Like, it's insane. And I don't get who's sitting at home going, I need, I got it on Blu-ray, I got it on digital download. But now I want it on VHS because I have a VHS player.
And who are the guys that sit there and go, you know what, I have the 800 Powers of the Force action figures, but I really need those loose vintage ones from 77 at so-and-so's comic shop for, $100 a pop.
Stacey was bitching about the cassettes were $2 because she wanted to get a couple cassettes. I'm like, I'm not going to pay $2 for and like 8 tracks for 50 cents. But then you go to the Nintendo 64 and I wanted to get I hooked it up on the TV for my kids, getting Mario Kart, and like I lost a bunch of them. All I got is like wrestling and Madden. And they're like $40.
That's nuts.
The gold Madden was $200.
Right, what?
Or not, the gold Zelda, sorry. I couldn't believe it. The guy was like, it's $40 with the bad sticker, $50 with the good sticker. I'm like, what do you mean the good sticker, bad sticker? I just want to play the damn game.
Which is funny, this hype hits. It's funny because as soon as word like this happens, like the Chewbacca masks, the price skyrocket, opportunistic people try to make a buck off of them.
And then 2 weeks later.
I mean, just right now on eBay, there's like a wide swath of price. Like, here's one for $5,000. Here's one for $8,000. Here's the $18,000. For a VHS cassette, and then there's another one. Here's a whole set for like $20.
Remember when Hostess, they were going to stop selling Twinkies? People were buying boxes of Twinkies.
I totally remember that.
Well, there's that famous picture of a divorce court. I don't know the year exactly. I'm assuming it was like 94, where the couple's on the floor in court and they're having a like NBA style draft for their Beanie Baby collection.
Oh,
and like, imagine
because they're going to be worth a fortune someday.
Going through that mess. But like, again, like you just said, you got like a huge box of like we all got these boxes of crap downstairs.
Yeah,
and who would have told me that like this is the crap that's worth money?
See, and this
not the McFarlane figures that you've kept pristine for 20 years. No, this crap is worth money.
No, and this is why I'm a pack rat. This is why people become hoarders. Because you never know what stupid freaking thing that you have in a box in your basement is going to be your lotto ticket.
My father-in-law's entire basement was full of newspapers and scrapbook because he thought that was going to...
That might have been a stretch.
That was that was fun unloading that basement when he passed. But regardless, like now everyone's going to be like, holy shit, I have these stupid VHS tapes. I know my sister-in-law's got all of them, all the Disney ones. And I'm like, go look on the back. If it's a Black Diamond, we're all going to Disney World. I'm buying. You're buying, but I'm selling them.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
I'll be your broker.
Yeah. Right. I only take 40% because you didn't know. Thought you'd sell it for 50 cents.
Hey, I can get you $20 a piece for those.
Yeah, right.
Right. It's like, give me $20. Oh my God, $20? Yeah. Figure I'd help you out.
Bobby, where'd you get the new car?
That's crazy.
But speaking of old coming back in style, we've got Stroh's. that was some big news announced.
See, is it going to be Stroh's? I've heard rumors it wasn't going to be Stroh's Fire Brewed Stroh's. Like it was going to be like Stroh's Bohemian
Rhapsody.
It's just yes.
Is this the real beer, or is this just fantasy?
Right, it's caught in a landslide, but straight from reality. But I heard it was not going to be like the Fire Brewed because that's like a weird, awkward process. It's kind of like Beechwood aging Budweiser, like the whole Fire Brewed process. And I don't think this brewery is capable. It's the brewery that contract brews all the stuff for like Kid Rock's beer and all the crap down. Detroit Brewing Company, I think it's or whatever it's called.
Gotcha.
But still, having Stroh's back home, if they could only do what they did to Pabst, make it like just bring it back.
It kind of is already like, for me, Stroh's is the hipster. It's the like Malthusian proto-hipster of beers. So like when I'm not feeling really, really hipster, that's when I get a Stroh's. Places like the Imperial totally sell Stroh's, and they're like $2 a can. So maybe they'll have the same resurgence. Maybe they'll have billboards again. Maybe they'll be Pabst. Who knows?
And you're not allowed to. Are you allowed to like Pabst anymore? Like, I mean,
no, totally. I got a 30 rack sitting in the back of my car for camping this week, so I'm good.
It's like
that's my personal PBR stash.
My score of the weekend at the flea market was a yarn Hams hat that actually fits my fat head, which I cannot wait to unveil to the world. Red, white, and blue Hams logo. That's going to get brought out.
Big Blue Waters, right?
Yeah.
Lord,
smack these hams.
Will that be worn with the PBR jacket, or would that be blasphemy?
I think it's too much. That's too obnoxious at that point.
So one of our favorite topics, Uber. We talk about them all the time. There was a great story that came out, and we talked about this when it happened. So Uber and Lyft both pulled out of Austin. Because Austin wanted to, throw down some more restrictive guidelines.
All kinds of legislation about background checks and all kinds of crazy
and so
stuff.
Uber and Lyft both pulled out and said, all right, well, we're gone. Well, so an interesting thing has happened in Austin since they bailed. Basically, a Facebook group started up for people who just wanted to share rides. And
pay me what you want,
it post. This is where I want to go.
Yeah.
This is where I need to be there. Yada, yada, and then just delete your post after you get picked up and dropped off. They said they're working on an app to be like, so it's going to be hyper local. It's just Austin. But they've been working just fine with the Facebook group, apparently. So, I mean, it's one of those things where, all right. So, I mean, this kind of gets to an earlier point. Neither Uber nor Lyft really own anything except an app. So if stuff like this keeps happening and usage of their app continues to drop because there are effective replacements like this.
No, this is toilet. This is bullshit. It pisses me off because Uber already does background checks, right? So the legislation that they were going to do.
Did they background check when they got me to be a driver? I don't know what they looked up for me.
Oh yes, they background check you. They have requirements for the cars, things like that. So basically, since they didn't want to do fingerprint background checks and mark the cars with logos, now they have a bunch of assholes completely unregulated with no background checks, no security, no logos. No anything, and it's basically, how are you any safer? This is what pisses me off so much, is they basically got rid of some things with some at least loose controls for security and safety, and now you're just picking up jackasses on Facebook who are like, yeah, totally, I'll take you there for $20. How's that any better?
Here I am, Ted Bundy in my Volkswagen Rabbit or Volkswagen Beetle.
One of the rules is be cool to each other. I mean,
right.
There's no backlash. I mean, what happens if you poop in the guy's car? It's not like you can leave a 1-star review.
Right. I mean, some guy throws up in your car. How do you get your $250 cleaning fee? I mean, dude, it makes me so angry. But it's an open marketplace where riders connect directly with drivers.
Come on, Nuri. It's a sharing economy now, man. Get with the times.
Walk out of here. Good thing there's only 10 minutes left because I'm done.
I don't know if I've ever actually seen Nuri mad about a topic before. The little vein right here is starting to go.
Socialist car rides.
Right.
Come on.
I'm torn. Like I said, I mean, I think it's like if you can get a community to pull together and make something like this happen, great.
Well, it's kind of like Airbnb.
There's a downside.
I don't want anyone farting in my bed, but me. That's only like
you'll sleep in a hotel room. Right?
Yes, totally. Because I know it's been fumigated right before I got there.
You'd be
really? Are you sure?
Really?
I'll pretend. Don't break my dream. That
we know the reality. Don't mess with the fantasy.
Yeah, exactly. For all I know, I'm eating White Castle off the bed sheets. That's my world, and no one's going to tell me there's bed bugs on there sharing the meal with me.
Delicious.
But you know what? The one that kind of threw me for a loop is we all know, we were talking about it earlier, that all like the big apps are basically like rehashes off .coms from the early
Right.
2000s. And
Or
Tinder,
board games.
right? Or board games, right? And Tinder was hotornot.com.
Absolutely.
Right? We all basically knew it. It's like Hot or Not, and then there was like the top rankings, but then Hot or Not went like local, where like you could find people around you. So Tinder, it was basically that. But then it turned into like a hookup site. If it was or wasn't, I don't know. I'm married. I never logged into it.
It's my story, and I'm sticking.
But then
to
I
it.
found out that Tinder was open to 13 to 17
and this
year olds.
is why this conversation started, was because Tinder announced they were going to start blocking 13 to 17-year-olds off of their app.
And the entire internet went, what?
Wait, exactly. Wait, how? Yeah, like that. Yeah,
But apparently you could only see
other people within that 4-year age bracket.
Group. Yeah, it's not like you get like
You just change your age on Facebook. And,
you know what I like about high school girls?
Yeah,
Like,
that's right,
they stay the same
right.
age. Yeah, you couldn't get that. But like the fact of the matter that it was open to that, and it was like, really? Like who said the boardroom? Let's go back to the boardroom going, here's an app for like we're dating and hooking up, and we should really open it up to 13
Well,
year olds.
no.
Like, wait, what?
Well, no. I'm sure what happened was it's okay. We're going to open it up to anybody with a Facebook profile, and damn well and good there was somebody like us sitting around somewhere going
snickering.
Say. Excuse me, there are 13-year-olds with Facebook profiles.
They'll never sign up for a Tinder account.
This
Don't
might
worry
be a
about
problem.
it.
And then he got poo-pooed and pish-pished and pish-poshed.
But someone had to make the determination you could only see those. Like that age could only see that age group. 18-year-olds couldn't see that age group. So like someone had to sit there in that board meeting going, well, yeah, there's younger, but we'll just make them see each other. And so like they knew.
But when did that control go in place? Was that there from the get-go?
I don't know. I never used it.
Or did suddenly some reporter go, hey, did you know there are 13-year-olds in your app? And they went, oh, wait, let's put this lockdown in.
So now they got a conscience, which is great.
Yeah. What are you guys talking about? I'm Tindering. Sorry.
Social.
Check Nuri's Facebook profile. Make sure he just change his age to 15.
Because when I think
boo on you, sir.
Research. Show research.
Because when I think Tinder, I think social responsibility.
Right. Absolutely.
It's part of the corporate culture. But then the one thing, the one that is, everyone got forced to use Facebook Messenger. And apparently now, Moments is becoming a thing. And
or they're trying to
make it a thing where, like, apparently some girl, like, Facebook deleted like 12,000 of her photos that held in Facebook, but she didn't keep.
Well, okay, so here's how this works. So there is a feature in Facebook when you set up the app that says, do you want to sync photos with the app? So basically at that point, every photo that you take syncs to Facebook. It goes to a private album. They're not public. They're not out there. But every photo that you take at that point or that you download or whatever winds up going to Facebook.
Have I not noticed this before?
Oh yeah, dude. So what happened is so Facebook rolled out and said, hey, if you're not using Moments, we're going to nuke all of those auto-synced photos. And so what happened was a lot of people, just like Nuri, were going, wait, that was a feature? And started looking into this other album and went, holy shit, every photo I've ever taken in the past, 3 years is on Facebook's servers? Like, they have all those photos? And all those photos, Bob, they have all those photos.
I don't know. What you're talking about.
Bob's a married man. Those don't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember the ones you were worried about syncing to your Google Plus profile?
That was just pregnant. Never mind. What? Did I say that out loud?
But no, so what they've said is, they're not. It has nothing to do with any photos that you yourself have manually uploaded, like things that you've posted to your wall or to someone else's wall or that you've uploaded through, the site or anything like that. Anything you've intentionally uploaded is perfectly fine. It's that auto sync that if you're not if you don't download and start using Moments, they're going to go ahead and nuke all those sync photos, which I think by and large everybody's okay with. Because hey, if you were concerned about Messenger, do you really want every single photo you've ever taken, received, downloaded, etc. on your phone sitting on Facebook servers attached to your user profile?
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Can we jump real quick to a topic from earlier?
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to just touch back to our folks from Comcast here. Speaking of higher internet speeds in Detroit.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, it's a topic that's near and dear to my heart. I want to make sure we get to it today. So I hear rumblings, Michelle, that you guys are going to roll out a newer, faster internet over your existing lines.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to come out with our 1 gig service in the city of Detroit before the end of the year. I don't have an exact time frame. There's a lot of pieces that go into this, and our engineers are working really hard.
There are other companies that have that capability? Really?
You know what? I think we've had this conversation. It's like deja vu. Yeah.
Start with a Q.
So we are rolling it out across the entire city of Detroit, not just a portion. It'll be throughout the city.
Suburbs as well, like Ferndale, Royal Oak, Pleasant Ridge?
So the suburbs will likely come next year.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so we've kind of got a plan in terms of where we're taking this, and Detroit's first. We've got other markets that'll come early next year, and we should be done within 18 months within Michigan.
Very cool.
So now you can watch your shaky new releases in Russian subtitles
with Russian people talking in the background.
Dude, the problem is my VPN provider, I guarantee they don't offer a gig service, so I got to figure out something out here. Yeah.
So it's kind of funny because, Dave, when you were talking about, well, I could sell you that, but you don't really need it.
Yeah.
And that's, speed is really sexy right now, and you guys know better than anyone, if you aren't using the right equipment to support those speeds, it doesn't matter what your speed is.
It's always what your lowest choke point is.
I
it's
want
that
what
simple.
he's got.
Yeah.
I've got an 802.11b router at home. Does that do gig speeds?
I remember remember when I was doing power line equipment, and this is the advent of IPTV was out. And I'll never forget, I was in a Tokyo boardroom, and these guys were like, 200 megabit isn't fast enough. And I started yelling, and I said, what's the fastest internet connection in Tokyo today? Like 10 megabit. I go, so you mean to tell me that that's not fast enough? How is that not fast? Like, do the math. Let's go on the board right now and show me how it's not fast enough. Because again, it's only if you only got 10 meg coming in. If you got 200 going in the house supplying video, where's the choke point? There's none.
Right.
Right, and it's just the mentality. I think it's everywhere. It's not just here, but like it needs to be more. Well, why? Because I want it.
Well, it's like I said, dude. I don't need a gig. I want it.
You want to tell your friends at the coffee house you got a gig, and you go, that's all Nuri wants. He doesn't.
No, I've got I'm gonna have 4 or 5 roommates in my little IT flop house, right? I mean, my incubator. It's gonna be important to have good speeds at home, and I'm really looking forward to this.
Ehrlichman.
Yeah, he's totally.
I am totally.
Ehrlich Bachman. Yeah.
Ehrlich Bachman.
Next time, the dumbest man in technology. That was from yesterday.
I love that show. I'm not caught up on the season, but
it's so good.
Yeah. Anyway.
But hey, we're done. We're gonna wrap things up. This has been a fun episode.
Fantastic episode.
148.
Yeah.
Want to thank Eunice and Michelle from Comcast hanging out, talking about all the fun stuff. Dave, appreciate you coming out. We see you every month for like the last 10 years when we finally get you in the podcast studio.
That's great.
But thank you for sharing all the insights on the job market. And on behalf of myself and Dave and Nuri, appreciate it. Thank you to our sponsors, Audible Weebly and Atlassian. We will see you guys this Thursday at Hamlin Corner. And you don't have to, you have to drink your drinks.
Yeah,
how did I mess that one up? Drink your drinks, get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home.
You've only been saying that for 20 years?
You got to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Drive careful. See you next week. Beat it.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
Long live Flash. You've saved your life. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name?
Murphy.
Make the run. The run. Game over, man. It's game over.
It's over, Johnny.
It's over.
Nothing is over! Nothing! You just don't turn it off!
I can't say no, and I don't really want to, so.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth, Ruth.
Bob loves it in the can.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
That's why I like it in the can.
就 own the Chiefs.
Fear me.
My job is to make sure this program is morally upright and cultural and wholesome.
Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy!
Why would like Buick put their cars next to like the Bentleys? Like, why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't take that position.
That analogy sucks because it's right.
Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up.
Are we at a break yet? Yeah, so now I'm just like doing like stupid stuff to make me laugh.
Venture capital is not the end game.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
It's my show. I can say what I want.
Kiss my ass, go home, unplug, get off the goddamn internet. You are everything that is wrong with the internet right now.
You're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
I love this city.
I was banging on the wang.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.
This is a previously recorded episode of the ITintheD Show.